yesterday is at the pro level. That's one thing that distinguishes pros versus a 4-5 or a 5-0 player is that the ability to stay disciplined when that ball is flying by you and not put a paddle on it.
The court is actually a lot smaller depth-wise than we tend to perceive in general. So being able to read a ball that's about chest high and knowing if it has topspin, if it has slice, if it's flat, and knowing whether to leave it is not easy. But as you said, like a lot of these guys, the top doubles players, they know, they have a feel for it, and
they play percentages, right?
Yeah,
every once in a while you're going to have some drop in on you, and you might look silly letting it go, but the percentages are what they're playing for there.
Well, and it also, I whenever I teach people, I do a drill that I call it like an anticipation drill, and what it does is it allows people to learn. Like if you let the ball go out, it earns the point right away. So what I teach people is, like, even if it goes in, at least you're starting to learn that shot.
Absolutely.
And keep your opponent honest as well.
Keeping them honest, I like that. That's actually a really good teaching tool.
Well, I taught some like 3-5 level players who have said they've never let a ball go in their life, and they said my drill was the first time they ever even practiced letting a ball go out.
Wow.
So it's just to learn that movement is important, because you would work on your footwork to hit dinks, right, but you never work on moving your shoulders out of the way to let a ball go out. So
that's a very interesting and probably underrated technique to teach about letting balls go, because you do miss out on a lot of opportunities to win points in a match by hitting out balls.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a free point. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to stand there.
It's free.
Yeah.
Whether you're on the receive, whether you're serving or not, it's still either going to be a second serve after that, or a side out, or it's going to be a point. So it's advantageous to let those out balls go.
For sure. And not only that, it makes your opponent feel the pressure of having to keep the ball in play, which affect with their shot selection. Incredibly quick hands from Joey and Collin there. Really, really solid. So Scott, I'm going to ask you a question here. What team do you think? What strategy do you think is going to be employed playing against someone like Collin Johns, who was a very high level professional tennis player in his career?
If me personally watching this, I think if Collin, since he comes from that tennis background, maybe dinking to him more, to his backhand, or to his left foot. If he's on that right side, maybe is a possibility that he might make some unforced errors, just not being maybe as patient, possibly. Maybe he wants to speed it up a little quicker. I don't know. I mean, I haven't actually seen Collin play a lot. I was very impressed with him yesterday, though.
Right, yeah. He's
okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. So Jordan was able to spread Collin wide to the forehand side on that one and draw the unforced error.
And that was an unforced error that we just talked about. So that would be my strategy. I think slow the ball down, force him to dink, be patient. When he can rip like that, see? But that's what he's wanting to do, right? Collin doesn't seem like to me the kind of guy that wants to dink for 60 dinks in a row. Seems like he wants to look for a ball where he can kind of rip on it and put the pressure on the other team.
Yeah. I think the most experienced player on the court, of course, is Joey Farias, who's a top 5 doubles player,
Absolutely.
top 5 singles player, I believe, as well.
Without question, yeah.
So to look for him to guide how this match gets played out.
And Joey's with Gearbox. And he signed that, I believe, around the U.S. Open last year, possibly.
Correct. Yeah.
So about a year ago, he signed with Gearbox, and he's their poster boy. I mean, he's their
literally their poster. They had a poster, a life-size poster of Joey at the U.S. Open.
A life-size poster. I like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really did roll out the red carpet for him, and for good reason. I mean, he backs up every bit of the hype behind Joey.
Yeah, he has won. I believe he's won the bronze medal at the U.S. Open before in doubles. And last year, if you remember, he pulled in singles. He pulled the upset against Briones.
Yes, he did.
And actually, I had the good fortune of losing to Joey myself last year. I ended up in about I think fifth place, and I played Joey. We had a match, and then the winner of that played Ben Johns. in the bronze final, so the lower half final.
Man.
Joey, I think they split games, and Ben just was able to edge him out to get bronze. So really, Joey got 4th place last year in singles and just narrowly missed out on getting the bronze medal.
Wow. And I remember watching all that, and it looked exhausting just watching you guys battle that stuff out. Like it was a grueling day.
It was a grueling
sun,
day. And Joey, that day, his passing shots, particularly his backhand passing shot, was just on fire. I mean,
the crowd was energized.
It was incredible. It was great to see him play that well. You know, except for when I was on the other side of the net, it was not great.
You were on the receiving end of it, yeah.
So what I'm seeing here early, Scott, and if you see anything different, let me know. I see that Collin and Jonny are targeting Jordan.
For sure.
And Joey and Jordan are targeting Jonny. And I think they're targeting Jonny more strategically and more often than Joey and Jordan are targeting Jonny.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So Collin is a little less patient when it comes to ripping on the ball. He wants to speed it up.
Well, and I think it is. I think, you know, we've seen evidence of that. But I think one thing to you know, give him a little bit of credit for is that when you're the player who's not being targeted, you have to be more aggressive.
That's a great point.
He's good at being more aggressive. If he's not getting many balls, he's going to have to take the pressure off of his partner by being more aggressive.
And I guess one of the feelings that I've had, I think everybody's been on the team where they were the stronger, or they just weren't getting all their balls hit to them. When they do get a ball hit to them, they feel like they have to do something special with it. They have to make something happen. You know, and that mindset is not. Oh wow, that ball dipped in at the last
clean forehand winner from Jonny down the line.
Jonny just ripped that forehand.
You don't see a shot like that in doubles too often.
Man, not at this level anyway. When it happens, it's not as common though.
Point.
So I think when Jordan and Jonny are cross court from each other, that's when you can really, really see the targeting happening. Because right now Jordan is having to dink cross court with Collin because it's a percentage play to dink cross court.
It makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost, sometimes it's not even about them targeting a specific person. It's the cross court stuff that makes a little more sense for them strategically.
Well, yeah, and if you think about it, the shortest distance between two places is straight line. Incredible behind the back get from Jonny Pickleball.
That's Jonny Pitbull right there. That's not Jonny Pickleball anymore.
Joey with incredible get.
Oh, Collin just hooked that off the end of his paddle, but also the ref did actually call a football. So either way, it would have been a point.
I don't think the foot fault affected the miss. I think that, as Scott said, the ball got stuck on his paddle a little bit there. Unfortunate, but an incredible get from Joey and Jordan off those two overheads.
No doubt.
What a point.
And that also goes back to making your opponent hit one more shot.
Yeah,
if you just get it back one more time, you don't know what's going to happen.
The old Rafael Nadal strategy is just if they have to hit one more, then they might miss it. You give them a chance to make a mistake. Around the post.
That is an incredible.
Wow.
So Jordan called it out, but Joey gave it to him. And I think that ball was so close. It was hard to go against that being
It was
out.
a ball that Collin took with his forehand, and he exclusively hit it with side spin. So from the very moment he hit it, it was curling in. And it dropped in the corner the very last second.
Again, okay, going back to the energy players, I would say you, Jonny, even Eden, some of these guys, you guys feed off this energy at these points. Like when the game's kind of stale and there's no energy, it's hard to get going. But when Jonny and yourself and some other players, they feel that energy from the crowd and from the points being played out, that's when you see some of the best pickleball played out right there.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to switch sides here.
So it's at the 10-minute mark. Has nothing to do with the score, right?
Yeah,
Frank, it has to do
yeah.
with the time.
Which is a little different for us pros. We're so used to our typical, games to 11, switch to 6, games to 15, switch at 5. The clock is a really interesting dynamic, and it makes it just kind of changes a few parts of the game.
Yeah, and so Collin Johns, who's on the court right now, yesterday was a part of 2 sudden death games where when the time ended and clock hit 0, the game was tied, and the sudden death format is the next team to win the point that's serving.
Correct.
So he was a part of 2 of those and came out on, I think, both of those on top.
Yeah, I played a little practice singles with Deckel the other day, and he was telling me about. I wasn't here to watch it, but Deckel was telling me about how that played out, and unfortunately, Deckel was on the losing end of that one, but it was sounded like a very close match, and
Wow,
we're
what
seeing
an exchange
incredible hands here.
But see, Joey reset right there. Joey was able to block that ball back into the kitchen and reset. That actually helped them, I think, right there.
And like I said, Joey's the most experienced player on the court. He's gonna know what to do with the ball strategically the best, of these guys. So I think
He's very composed also.
Agreed.
You don't really see Joey get too up or too down emotionally. Even if his partner's struggling, he's still pretty steady in his game, and he's very positive with his partners.
Correct. Yeah. Joey's a very focused player. It's interesting on this point. We're seeing Joey play a few more dinks than normal.
What do you mean by that? Meaning they're hitting to him a little more?
Well, I think with Jonny being cross court from Joey, he's having to dink cross court, kind of like what was happening before on the other team. So
we're seeing some better movement here from Jordan.
Very
and some
good
activity.
Yeah, very good movement.
There it is, right there. That's his shot. Talk about that shot. What did he do right there to set that put away up?
So as Scott said, Jordan played a phenomenal point there. Just really good footwork, really owning the point. So what he does is he attacks in a way where he is very familiar with where the next ball is going to go. So they go punch it back to his body, and he kind of lowers his left knee and twists
His body
twists body inside in, and just kind of hits like a half overhead.
Absolutely. That's what it felt like for sure. Oh, Joey just not able to get that. That was a great get on to the backhand side of Jordan there. He was able to get it back over, but sometimes the problem is you're stretched out so far that you just get the ball back over the net.
Side out. Here's 2.
Is that
Okay, controversy here.
Can you call a timeout and check it?
Yes, I am.
With,
7-7-1.
Joey was thinking that he was the first server, but the referee said, and is very adamantly saying that it was the second server, so we had a side out.
I'll be completely honest. Do you remember? I don't remember.
I don't remember. It didn't seem like Collin and Jonny agreed, and Jordan did agree with Joey. So there was, I think the ref would know best in this case, in my opinion.
But where I think that Joey and Jordan could have done something a little different is maybe call a 60-second timeout and regather their composure, and also maybe allow the ref 60 seconds to double check and be 100% sure that he made the right call. Wow, what a point right there. So right now, I feel like this is a good time to call a timeout. You disagree with the ref, you're still thinking about that a little bit, and then you lose that next point. It's important to stop that momentum from the game is tight right now.
Yeah, especially remember we have just under 6 minutes on the clock. Team East has a 1-point lead, and this you can win by 1 point. You don't need to win by 2 points at this venue.
It's not necessary. It's not part of that format.
Still controversy here. So Joey has a good point there. He's saying that Jordan is the odd server.
So basically, so Joey's not happy, and look, we're competitors, right? So you're gonna have a little bit of animation. You're gonna have a little blood pressure going up a little bit, right? It's normal. Joey's not out of line right now. Now,
No, he came
if he
in.
were
He's the server there. That look at coming
hit,
forward, the
touch,
same-
push
the same
a referee,
slash. They never
right?
changed slash.
Become
They're
belligerent.
not-
That's different. Joey's a
Came
professional.
in at 5.
Joey's not happy about that situation, correct?
I think that he's correct to not be happy about it.
But he's also handling it, I think, in a professional way.
I think
which
so
is-
too. I think so. It's easy to get yourself kind of like out of shape and out of shape a little bit, and but he's not doing anything ridiculous. He's just having a discussion with the ref, and
the other thing is, let me ask you from this perspective. He just burned one of their timeouts to basically have a discussion with that referee. All the while the clock's running.
To your point, it might have been smarter to do that right away. In the
Right
very
away.
beginning. Yeah.
Correct. At the 6-minute mark instead of the 5-minute mark, essentially.
So we'll see. These next few points here are going to be very crucial because Team West is on their first serve, and they're down 1 point.
No, Team West. That's right. Team West. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking Team East was serving.
So now we're tied up at 8-8.
So Joey's fired up right now. It's not a good idea to get Joey fired up because he really dials in.
You don't want to get Joey fired
You
up.
can see it. He's in that next level right now, that mode.
Yeah, they would be wise to keep the ball away from Joey for the next several minutes here. Again, Collin goes for a more aggressive shot. Yeah, maybe your strategy would work.
It would work if I was able to keep it low.
Yeah.
I think right here, look at Joey. He's prowling. Joey's prowling. He's looking for an opportunity to put a ball away here. And they're smart for keeping it away from Joey right now. He's not one to mess around
Wow.
with.
Incredible block
So that
from
can be a
Collin.
little bit deflating. However, they get 2 serves, so they're still.
9-8-2.
This point is very crucial because we're going up on 3 minutes left, and Team West has a 1 point lead.
So that's a
Now,
big point right there. That's a
2 point
big
lead.
point.
We are on second serve, so kind
10-8-2.
of coming down to the wire here.
Joey able to rip that forehand with a little topspin, dipped it over the net on Jonny Pickleball there. All right, so
Okay.
Jordan missed that unforced error right there. Side out. It's 8-10 at the 2-minute and 45-second mark. This is going to be intense right here coming down the stretch.
Yeah, we'll see how Team East plays under a little bit of pressure and duress.
So talk about quietly here, because there's a good point going on. The strategy of the team that's winning right now. They're not serving, but they are winning. Do they try to keep the ball just unattackable, soft dinks, keep the ball going over the net?
I think in this particular strategy, you would actually not change your game at all. You'd want to play it just like a regular point because it's more important to win the point than it is to make the point long. Because if you lose the point, you're only down 1. So, like, winning the point is paramount.
Okay, so we got a timeout called. Literally, guys, at 3 seconds till.
Second timeout.
3 seconds till. That's good strategy by Jordan right there. Now, again, it goes back to the gamesmanship, right? Okay, they're down 1. It's a 60-second timeout. There's going to be enough time on the clock for them to finish out the last point, right? So here's the deal. Talk to the viewers right now about the strategy from the team that's losing. They're down a point with the serve, correct?
Correct. They need to win this point to go into a sudden death.
And you're basically, neither team can use a timeout now. It's under 2 minutes.
Under 2
so
minutes.
those are gone. Do Collin and Jonny Pickleball take their time here and make sure that they get this next point methodically? Or do they try to
I think
push?
you're very, very careful with this point. You want this point very bad. Yeah.
So you can feel in the room right now, there's a little bit of heightened
9-10-1.
awareness of what's going on.
Yeah.
The crowd is feeling this
a lot of
intensity.
pressure right now. And
That ball just barely dipped over there. Nobody wants to make a mistake here. The team East is actually has the advantage, I feel, right now. Because if they miss this, they don't lose a point. They get a second serve. If they win it, it's tie game. Okay, so he's got to go grab that ball. He's got to go grab that ball, right? There's a sense of urgency right now.
down 1 point with 25 seconds left on the
With
clock.
25
Yeah.
and counting. So this point will be played out to completion. This is a huge point.
If East loses this point, the match is
over.
relatively
It's
over. I mean,
no, it is. There's
yeah.
no more timeouts. It's over. Oh, so that's
a
it
way
right
to
there.
lose
That's
it.
game. That's game.
Collins' ball sat on the net for, I want to say, 2 or 3 seconds and fell on the wrong
It
side.
literally spun around on the top of the net. That was an incredible finish. As viewers, Frank, we wanted to see a sudden death, but that's not the way it felt. The chips fell.
It's the second time today that West has used the strategy of using timeouts towards the end of the game, and it's paid off.
All right, guys, we just had the completion of an amazing, amazing game right there. I think the fans absolutely enjoyed watching that one. There was a bit of controversy there, but you guys worked through that. You guys were able to stay composed. Talk to us what you guys did at the end of that match right there to come out on top.
A lot of it was, just trying to extend the rallies as we were close to the lead or tied. And we knew that if we can extend the rallies, time will get tight and hopefully push them to change their strategy because they were dinking very well. Not many balls were popped up that entire match, and it seemed to be who can keep the lead just enough to make the other team attack first because of that clock. And that's the big difference.
Absolutely. The clock is playing a big factor. Talk to us real quick about the strategy of that, by the way, Jordan, of how you guys close that out with the time factor and being up 1 right there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, being up 1 with the time running out is a hard situation to be in. I think it could have went either way. They played great, but I just tried my best to stay in the point and try to keep the ball alive, right, so the time could run out. So
Absolutely. And that's just part of this game. This is the format that we're playing with. Everybody's playing with the same format, right? So I thought it was interesting that the timeout was burned by you guys with 2 seconds to go above the 2-minute mark. Smart strategy, in my opinion. Smart strategy. It played out well. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, we've got Collin Johns and Jonny Pickleball coming. If they'll hurry up. We've got Jonny and Collin coming over here to speak to us real quick. If you guys will just take a few seconds here with us. All right, guys. You guys, unfortunately, there had to be a winner and a loser in that one. I wish there was no loser in that game because it was just phenomenal for the fans watching. Obviously, as competitors, that is not the way you wanted the game to end. Talk to us right there at the end. I mean, obviously, you guys wanted that ball to roll over and keep that game alive, right?
Yeah, for sure. We would have definitely loved an extra minute there, but with them calling the timeout there really late in the game, we just sort of ran out of time. I felt like we were going to make a run there at the end, but the ball didn't crawl over in the end, and we just ran out of time.
We rushed when we had first server. I kind of rushed it to try to see if we could create something. Probably flipped it a little too early, but I had faith in Collin to try to maybe do something if they came at him. So that one just didn't go our way, and then obviously the roll on the second serve. But we had to go for it with that kind of time though. So like normally I would be more patient on that first server and just keep dinking, keep going at a longer point. But I felt the pressure of the clock.
And you do, yeah. The clock definitely puts that, like what we said all weekend or week right now. It's the X factor. It's the extra element of this game that the format that we're dealing with. So congratulations, guys. That was a hard fought battle. We'll see you guys on the next couple rounds. Okay. Thanks, guys.